Today. Everybody here for family night and practice? All right, I'm Mark Murphy, president of the Packers, and I want to thank all of you for coming out today. And before we get into our comments, I thought that it would be good if we lifted off the cover so you could see the Lambeau Leap statue. Well, again, thank you for coming out. I do want to give special thanks, obviously, to a man who deserves it more than anybody, LeRoy Butler, number one, for inventing the Lambeau Leap. But also for coming to visit us here today. I think, as everybody knows, the Lambeau Leap, he started it, and the plaque here kind of describes the history of the Lambeau Leap. And, it's really something, I've been around the league for a number of years. To me, obviously it's a great Packers tradition, but I think it's one of the really great traditions in the NFL. And what I really appreciate about it is it really personifies the special connection that the Packers have and the connection between our fans and our players. And you just don't see that across the league. And obviously, that all started with LeRoy. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Robert Brooks, who took the Lambeau Leap to another level. And now, obviously, we see many of our players perform the leap, some a little better than others. It was a few years ago on family night, our linemen tried it in unison, and it was not a pretty sight. So. But ever since we announced the plans for this statue in April, we've been eagerly anticipating this day, and we think it's really fitting that we're here on the eve of family night, and we're really excited for all of our fans of all ages to be able to have a fun way to experience their visit to Lambeau Field, to have their own Lambeau Leap, and. I think most of you probably recognize where you're standing now is quite a bit different than it was a year ago at this time. We were about 20 foot higher up there. So we really reconfigured this Harlem Plaza completely. And over the years in Harlem Plaza, I've seen many people take great pictures of themselves and the families in front of the statues of Vince Lombardi and Curly Lambeau. And we thought this would be a really great addition, something our fans could have a lot of fun with, something the kids would really enjoy. So we're really excited to have it opening here, and especially with family night tomorrow, with all the families that'll be here with kids. I think this will be just a great way to kind of start get this tradition of the Lambeau Leap statue outside the Pro Shop started. I think you'll agree this is going to be a wonderful addition. I really would like, though, to make sure I recognize and thank a number of people who helped make this possible. I've talked about it before, our core group, and we've been in a construction mode for about the last 3 or 4 years. So we meet on a bi-weekly basis and or twice a month, and just all kinds of issues. And this is something we thought about, we talked about, and ultimately, we thought, geez, this is going to be something that really would be a great addition to Lambeau Field. And really want to recognize the people from our core group, Ted Eisenreich from Facilities, Doug Collins, Russ Ball. Russ is a key person in the organization, both in football and administration. Paul Baniel, our VP of Finance, Ed Policy, General Counsel and VP Administration, as well as Craig Benzel and Gabrielle Dow. All have really worked on this area. I also want to make sure that I recognize the Hammes Company. They just have done an outstanding job on all the renovations here at Lambeau Field, and in particular Stu Zadra, as well as Chuck Bernhagen and Rick Cottle. I also want to recognize, and I think they're in the audience here today, a couple people from our staff who really did an outstanding job and made numerous trips down to the studios in Chicago area to make sure the statues were coming along. Joan Malcheski and Kate Hogan. Can you please raise your hands? Joan, there in the back there. They are true artists. I also, last but certainly not least, I do want to give special thanks to the sculptor team. I mentioned before the studio was down in the Chicago area. It's a fine art studio, Rotblat and Amrani. And I've got a number of them here today. I want to recognize Oscar Leone, Sean Bell, Jessica Lepresti, and Gary Tillery. How about a round of applause for them? Yeah, their creation is fantastic, and it's a great compliment to the Lambeau and Lombardi statues, which came from the same studio, as well as the statues, if you've been downtown, to the Packers Heritage Trail. They did all the work for the statues there, so it's a great addition to the community. Well, you've heard enough from me, and I know you want to hear from this man next. I'm going to invite LeRoy Butler up to say a few words about the Lambeau Leap.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank God for not making it rain. It's been very good. When I was told that we were thinking about doing this, and I thought about the connection of the fans and the players, and I thought about what happened before 1993, December 26th, that the end zone seat was not worth a lot of money. But now everybody get a chance to have a connection with their favorite player. Even somebody with a G on their helmet. You know, I love the Green Bay Packers. I love the fans. And here's a way to we're basically signing over this to the fans. But that's what it's all about. You get a chance to experience it. And that's why I want to be a part of it. And I just wish Reggie White, who some people say in the media said he was out of bounds when he allowed me the ball. I can't see that view. I wish he was here to experience that. But again, I want to thank the Green Bay Packer organization, because I want to tell you guys, I know it's thousands of people on the list for tickets. They have you guys' interests first. That's why the Lambeau Leap is so important. I think it's more important than a lot of people realize, because when you look around the other 31 teams in the NFL, they have something, the Packers have something that they don't have. The connection with the fans. The fans actually own the team. It's only fitting that they own the Lambeau Leap. So I'm signing it over to the fans. I want as many people around the country to visit this site, not only that it's the best stadium and a historical site, to visit this statue and take a picture and say, this is what it feels like to be a part of the Lambeau Leap. And the reason why the Lambeau Leap is so important, when the Lambeau Leap our players are doing it, they're winning games. You don't do the Lambeau Leap if you're losing. That's why we've had thousands of Lambeau Leaps. And I appreciate all my teammates being a big part of it. Robert Brooks actually made a song about it. He didn't put me in the video because they were in a convertible when I was getting my hair cut at the time, and he didn't want to wait. True story. Also want to thank Gary Ellison, a former Packer player. Came down with Gary Ellison here. Also, real quick, I want to thank a couple people for keeping this a secret. WSSP in Milwaukee, Tom Parker, my boss, he's actually known about it, and he kept it a secret. And Mike Davis said, JS Online, he didn't want me to say that, but he did. He knew about it and kept it a secret. And Mike Clemens, who also works with WSSP Intercom Milwaukee, thank him for covering it. And I appreciate the fans more than you know. And again, the players understand what's asked of them. They understand that we got to hold that G on our helmet up to a high level. So we do not take a day like this for granted. And if it wasn't for the fans, we'd be nobody. And I just want to let you guys know I am honored, beyond honored. I had a discussion with my mom about having a place now where the pigeons can actually sit. I think they may skip this one though. I'm hoping, because there'll be a lot of fans taking pictures. It's about game day for you guys. That's why when Kate Hogan had the dream of having this huge pro shop, is never big enough. This would be the best pro shop you've ever seen. This is the best place for this statue. This is the best place for it. And we are honored for all this green and gold and white for this organization. thank you guys very much for it. Again, thank you to all my teammates, and thank you to the current players who are going to continue this tradition and continue winning a lot of games and championships. So thank you very much for the media for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, LeRoy. I think it's very fitting that the very first picture taken on the new Lambeau Leap statue is LeRoy.